What wins in a fight, a cat or a catfish, is the question I'm going to try and talk myself an answer for. There's two trains of thoughts here, either in water or outside of water. Outside of water, the catfish, can win, but not truly. Can win the battle, but not the war. While in water, the cat has significantly lowered mobility. So to make this even, I'm thinking 6 inches of water, which is a lot. 6 inches is a lot. So the catfish can breathe, and the cat still has decent mobility. The size of the catfish also needs to be brought up into this argument. Considering catfish can get to decent lengths. I'm thinking a 2 foot catfish, and the cat's weight about 10 pounds, which should give them equal footing. Either way, I still believe the catfish wins, surely based on the fact that catfish are a little more adept to eating larger prey. Cats normally don't particularly eat larger prey than themselves, while catfish can take down pretty decent sized prey. But then again, cats can be very violent. Like, cats can get really angry, which could give the cat a lead. Is it enough lead to beat a catfish? Catfish are apex predators. uh, if the catfish gets an early lead grabbing the cat's hind legs, I feel like it could be an easy fight. But if the catfish makes the mistake of grabbing its tail, then I feel that the cat will get an early advantage. Now, if we're playing with a bigger cat and a bigger catfish, I believe the catfish, as you increase the size of both of them, comes out on top more. Because the bigger the catfish gets, exponentially more strong than the cat. I have seen some big cats in my day, though. Like, I own this cat. This cat's like 30 pounds. It's like 2 feet long. I think that could kill a catfish if you give it enough time. If we do any more water, the catfish will easily win. If we do any less water, the catfish chances still go down, but not exponentially. Question is really who gets the first strike? Because if the catfish gets the first strike, then I mean the catfish needs to stop the mobility of the cat before the cat can try to really do any true damage. The cat's goal is just to not be grabbed in any sort of weaponish area like its front paws or its hind paws. Will give it the best chance. Another question I want to answer is what is the conversion rate? Like how many cats does it take down to take down a catfish? I believe a catfish can take a cat. So I'm thinking for every 2 catfish, there's 3 cats. Just a slight advantage. Although if we're doing like a full size catfish, like let's say 5 feet long, I'm thinking it's like 10. Because at that point the catfish can't eat all the cats, which would be its slowing down factor. Question is, what would be the conversion rate? Let's say that it's a bigger cat. Like, let's say it's a one of those big cats. I don't know the names of any of them. I don't want to embarrass myself. Let's say it's one of the big cats going up against the catfish. I believe one of those big cats, like a lion, panther, can take down like 5 or 6 full size, like 5 foot catfishes. Now, if we're going to play like that, I'm thinking like 4 feet of water. Because some of those cats can swim decently. And that would make it most fair for the catfish, considering that a 5 foot catfish fitting in 6 inches of water would be vastly difficult. Question is, who gets the first strike? The catfish gets the first strike on a bigger cat, like let's say a lion or something like that. I believe that as long as it gets it underwater, which I think the drowning strategy is going to be the number one way the catfish can do it, because I don't think a catfish can swallow a lion whole, or at least partially. Although yeah, let's say there's 5 of them. He could get all the limbs and try to drown the catfish. Are catfish smart? I can't tell. Because they always look like the stupidest and smartest creatures every time you look at them. Then again, cats aren't particularly that smart. Question for the ages. Now, if the catfish, now let's say we're going a full-size catfish, like let's say 5 foot, against smaller cats, like let's say 8 pounds. I think it's like 7 cats that it can take before it starts losing. It's 6 inches of water, where it's at the point where it can barely survive. The question is, how deep does water need to be where the fish doesn't start doing that floppy thing that they do all the time? Do you think a cat and a catfish could ever be friends? I think they could. I don't think like really good friends, but I feel like they could be decent acquaintances. Like if they saw each other at a party, I feel like they'd be like, "Ha ha, yeah, we're not related." Like they can make that joke, which would be very entertaining. A show should do that. Cat and a catfish go to a place and they're like, "Are you guys two related?" And they're like, "No, we are not related." Gosh, what was I talking about? Catfish versus cats. Okay. And let's say it's an army of cats versus an army of catfish. Like 100 catfish versus like 500 cats. I believe in that sort of fight, the catfish dominate in groups. Mainly because the cat is more like a lone, like sort of entity. Cats don't really fight in groups. Normally, I've seen them fight each other. Gosh, but if they had a strong leader, like a cat Abraham Lincoln, then they might be able to take down the catfish. The question is, do catfish work together? Does catfish unlock tools? Now, let's say catfish have unlocked tools. Like, let's say cats, I don't know, can make themselves body armor. Then I feel catfish win. But then again, if cats make themselves body armor, I don't think that helps them. Because what happens is that cats are like, scratching, sharp damage. Well, catfish are like blunt force, which I feel gives them a little bit more of an advantage overall. Question is, okay, now if we take this bigger out, how many cats does it take down to take down 500 catfish? I think it has to be a lot. That's 500 catfish. I feel like they work more together. I feel like the ocean's more united than the land. All of them. I want to pet catfish. Like, imagine how fun that would be. They're bottom feeders, too. You could throw anything in there and they would eat it. You give her a body like that. What were you talking about? Cats versus catfish. I think catfish would be really good friends with cats overall. Like, they'd be friends, but they have like that little argument sometimes. Like, no, 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 I don't associate with him and stuff like that. Like a light rivalry, but not a very large one. If you understand what I'm saying. I feel that catfish, the one of the most underrepresented fish. Like everybody knows a catfish. Okay, but when you like watch shows where they take place in the ocean, like little cartoons for children, there's never a catfish. I feel because they're afraid that a catfish will take the spotlight away from other animals. Because catfish are very interesting and not very understood. If catfish could speak, it'd be the most confusing thing ever. Like out of any animal in the animal kingdom, like let's say a cat started speaking one day, you'd be like, oh, they learn from humans. Where would a catfish learn from? Like where would they be able to learn? Like, because humans don't really talk to catfish. And catfish also are represented as dumb animals. But then again, if any fish learned to talk, that'd be a little strange. It wouldn't be strange if a goldfish learned to talk because they see humans a lot. If a swordfish learned to talk, that'd be like a war. That'd be a very entertaining war too. Like a swordfish fighting a boat of humans. That'd be a great movie. Is that already a movie? It probably is. But imagine like, okay, let me set the scene for you. Okay, so you have some knights from late Dark Ages, early Renaissance. Like before they have guns, but they still have decent weaponry. Go out on a ship, and they get stranded on this island. Okay, in the north Arctic. Is it Arctic or is it Atlantic? I think it's called the Baltic Sea. And they get stuck up there. Okay. And then swordfish, like these sort of winterized swordfish, come up there and they have to get off the island before they freeze to death. And it's just an entertaining, like almost horror movie like battle between swordfish and humans as humans try to escape the island. And you have like two get off of it. And right before they get to land, okay, you just see a swordfish's like sword stick through the bottom of it you see the raft slowly sink. So now they have to make the 100-meter swim to the coast as you have a group of swordfish right on their tails. And one makes it there badly bruised while the other one sacrifices themselves. I feel like I could get funding for that. I'm gonna write that down. Anyways, what was I talking about? Catfish. Okay, catfish. You know the catfish? They do like noodling where they have their arm in like this long glove, which makes catfish seem really stupid, but I feel catfish are really smart. The catfish are like think about this. If you fail to noodle a catfish isn't really hurt. But if you fail to catch catfish with like normal hook, string, rod, the catfish leads to some damage. So I think the catfish is smart to know that if they just have to lose like one every once in a while, it's a lot better than all of them getting injured all the time. I heard there's 10,000 types of catfish. That's a lot. Like, how do we determine the types of catfish? Like, how different do they need to be? Like, do they just need to be slightly different? Or can they breed between species like that? Or is that how the determining factor? There's not enough movie on cats. Like, the cat movie was terrible, okay? But I feel like if you had, like, an actual movie just about the life of cats, like, you know the Dog's Purpose movies? Like, imagine if you had that just for cats. I feel like it could be just as interesting of a story. Like, a cat walks through the woods. Okay, in one of the Dog's Purpose movies, the dog like adopts like this little like what is it called this little cat with it while it's in like the woods. But I feel like that would be a lot easier. And it was like a bobcat, and I feel like that would be a lot more interesting if you just had a normal cat. Also, that'd be hilarious to think to see it hiking. You see just a house cat, then you see a bobcat right behind it, but the bobcat thinks that the house cat is his mother, so it hides behind the house cat. Should feel should be more movies on cats. What were we talking about? Catfish, cats and catfish. In a fight, I think it's all about time. Okay, if the cat can get the catfish out of the water, then it's an easy one. But if the cat falls in the water with the catfish, believe the catfish can take it. Okay, because I believe a catfish can sort of tire out the cat. But the cat can't really tire out the catfish. So is the water clear or is it dirty? In dirty water, the catfish wins. In clear water, the cat has a pretty good chance of winning. Because as long as the cat can see the catfish, it's not a bad fight. They should make a horror movie on catfish, like a really big catfish that's like terrorizing a like town in the east, on the east coast, terrorizing a town, and it'd just be that the town has a flood, okay? So now a part of the town is flooded, okay? One of the bridges is flooded out, and there's a catfish sitting there, okay? Like a really big catfish. The catfish keeps eating all the other fish, so then there's no food, so then they have to leave the island. So they have to walk through the like a marshland to leave it, so they can actually get food. And then there's just a catfish stalking them. And it's a really big catfish. And just slowly starts picking off each person till they reach the other side. Then they have to go right back across. So then, like the army guys are like, oh, oh, we got it, we got it. Yeah, we'll just cross it, because the army guys are stupid. I mean, not like that, not like that. In movies, army guys are stupid. They're either really smart or stupid. Okay, in this one, they're stupid, so they decide to cross there against the people that actually survives willing, and they just slowly start getting picked off. It would be very cliche, but I believe very entertaining. Because catfish are underrepresented. Also, if a catfish is really big, can it control like it's like I don't know what they're called. They're not fangs. What are they called? Like the little stringy things. That'd be very entertaining. There's no superhero based on a catfish. I believe a superhero catfish would be very interesting. It also makes sense because catfish sit in some of the most polluted waters and they're bottom feeders. So if they were near I don't know, a nuclear anything, they'd probably be the ones to eat it. How old? I really want to pet catfish. These catfish are really fun. They're very resilient too. So that's just a fun thing to say. You have a pet catfish. And people like you have a cat and a fish, and I'm like, no, no, catfish. I'm gonna one up your one upping. Yeah, yeah. Do you think a cat riding a catfish would be a dangerous animal, or do you believe they would fight? Oh yeah, cats and catfish fighting. Okay, okay, let's get back to this. I believe that a catfish wins in the fight. In fairness, the cat could win, depending on the cat. Like I have a big cat, so I just believe that cat could win. Catfish are more resilient. Also, cats, the domesticated kinds, aren't really that resilient. Like one of my cats got down and they'll come to the door and whine. A catfish would never whine to its human. How long is this video? 16 minutes? I'm gonna end it here. If you have any questions, I will answer in the next video. Every single question. So I guess I'm out. Best of luck.